In a world that's all about globalization and one size fits all, how does the planet's biggest beauty company get even bigger? Well, they do the exact opposite. Today, we're diving deep into L'Oreal's fascinating strategy for dominating the globe, a playbook they call Universalization. And let me tell you, it is a masterclass in thinking local to win global.
So let's just start with a number, a really big number, $47 billion. That was L'Oreal's record-breaking sales figure in 2024. Now, this isn't just a random sales number. It's the direct result of the very specific, very deliberate strategy we're about to unpack.
Okay, so how did they get to that $47 billion? Here's our game plan. First, we'll get a handle on their sheer power in the market. Then, we'll define this core idea of universalization. After that, we're going to look at the three main pillars that hold it all up before we get to the big question for you. Is this model actually built to last? All right, first things first. Before we can really dig into the how, you've got to understand the sheer scale L'Oreal is operating on. This isn't just another big company. They're in a league of their own.
You know, these numbers tell a story of incredible strength. A 20% operating margin in the beauty industry, that's huge. It means their business is just wildly profitable and efficient. But the number that really jumps out at me is that last one, 5.1% growth. I mean, when you're already this massive, just not shrinking is a win. To grow over 5% in a market that's kind of cooling off, that shows their engine isn't just big, it's incredibly powerful.
So what's the secret sauce for that kind of growth? It's not the old-school globalization playbook. Nope. Their core strategy is something way more clever, a concept they've branded universalization.
And let's be really clear about what this means. Universalization is basically the anti-globalization strategy. Instead of trying to force one idea of Parisian beauty on the entire world, they take their massive global brands and meticulously adopt them. They focus on what people in different regions actually need, what they want, and even the specific biology of their skin and hair.
This quote really just nails it. It's not about pretending cultural differences don't exist. It's about spending the money and the time to invest in the science that truly understands those differences. And that changes everything. It's not just marketing anymore. It's a deep scientific mission.
So that's the big idea. But how do you actually make it happen? Well, let's look at the first pillar, acquiring luxury brands. And there's no better example than their massive $2.5 billion bet on the cult favorite brand, Aesop.
Now, this was a bold move. Over $2.5 billion for Aesop, a brand famous for its minimalist aesthetic, its incredible ingredients, and its whole unique vibe. So the big question is, why this brand, and why pay that record-breaking price? When you look at the logic, you see this was a total chess move. First, Aesop wasn't just another brand they were adding to the pile. It filled a very specific urban luxury gap in their portfolio. Second, they knew they could plug Aesop into their massive global machine and just blast its growth in places like airports and across North Asia. And the grand prize? China. Aesop had just cracked the door open there, and L'Oreal was about to kick it down.
But just buying cool brands is only one part of the equation. The second pillar is where things get really futuristic. This is where L'Oreal basically decided it's not just a cosmetics company anymore, it's a tech company. They realized the future isn't just about the cream in the jar, it's about the personalized, data-driven experience that gets you to that jar.
And this is a really fundamental shift in how they see themselves. They're going from being a products-only company to a beauty tech powerhouse. And why are they doing this? Well, they're trying to solve a problem that we all have, right? The paradox of choice. You walk into a store, you see thousands of options. How do you possibly find the one that's perfect for you? L'Oreal's answer is technology. So they're building these amazing tools, like an AI assistant called Beauty Genius that cuts through all the noise and gives you truly personal recommendations. They're teaming up with tech giants like NVIDIA and Salesforce. And get this, their AI diagnostics tool is powered by a database of over 1 million face scans, so it can give you incredibly precise advice. It means a customer in super humid Mumbai gets a totally different suggestion than someone in dry, cold Paris. That's real personalization at a global scale.
Okay, this brings us to the third and, you could argue, the most important pillar of all. Because you can have the coolest brands and the fanciest tech, but if the product itself isn't right for the local customer, none of it matters. This is where universalization becomes a physical reality.
So their model starts with a really brave decision. They just said no to the idea of a universal formula. Instead, they built 6 different research and innovation hubs in key markets all over the world, like Mumbai and Johannesburg. And these aren't just satellite offices.
They are full-blown labs studying local skin and hair to solve local problems. Think humidity-proof hair care for South Asia or better sun protection for people in high-altitude regions. It's science literally driving sales.
And did it work? Oh yeah, the results are right here. In early 2025, this hyper-local science is what drove double-digit growth across emerging markets. And this is so smart because it creates this multipolar engine for the whole company. When a huge market like China slows down a bit, this strong growth elsewhere can pick up the slack. It's a strategy that's built for resilience.
So there you have it, the 3 pillars of universalization: strategic luxury, scalable tech, and localized science. It is an incredibly powerful model that has clearly delivered some massive results. But of course, the biggest question of all still remains. Is it actually built to last?
So now it's your turn. What do you think? Can this massive investment in localization really protect them from those smaller, scrappy local rivals who live and breathe these markets every day? Is there a risk that by trying to cater to everyone, their big global brands might start to feel a little fragmented? L'Oreal has written a brilliant playbook for our modern world, for sure. But in business, the next big thing is always just around the corner.